Jebel Ali.
The cranes are melting. Stay with me, because how a $1 million crane breaks a $1 billion navy is the new blueprint for war. This was never supposed to be a battlefield. The modern deepwater port is a 50-year monument to commercial efficiency. Its purpose was to connect east and west. Its design was based on commercial assumptions. The assumption of political stability. The assumption of free navigation. The assumption that civilian infrastructure was a sanctuary. That final assumption was the vulnerability. It was the vulnerability that just failed. Let's talk about the cranes. The ship-to-shore gantry crane is the non-redundant choke point of global trade. Without them, the ships do not get unloaded. Military supplies, food, medicine. They are complex, custom-built machines. A new crane costs $15 million. The delivery lead time is 2 years. This is not a system designed for resilience. It is a system designed for peacetime efficiency. And that efficiency became a critical military vulnerability. Let's talk about the attack. This was not a simple strike. It was a coordinated, multi-axis operation designed for maximum systemic damage. First, at the waterline. IRGC naval commandos attach magnetic limpet mines, targeting structural stability, targeting power connections. Simultaneously, a strike from the air. Loitering munitions, Shahid or Ababil-type drones. Their target is the most complex component, the main hoist motor and the electronics housing. One strike for the legs, one for the head. A 90-minute operation to render the port non-operational for 2 years. Let's talk about the U.S. Navy. The Fifth Fleet is the most powerful maritime force in the Middle East. Jebel Ali was its most visited port outside the United States. It was more than a rest stop. It was a critical logistics hub. The Navy outsourced its sustainment to the port's hyper-efficient civilian infrastructure. The system worked until it didn't. At T+6 hours, the kinetic cascade begins. Any U.S. warships in port are trapped. Those at sea have lost their primary resupply point. The entire patrol and readiness schedule for the Persian Gulf collapses. Not from combat, from logistical starvation. The nearest friendly port with any capacity is Duqm. That port is now the new single point of failure and the obvious next target. Let's talk about the money. At T+12 hours, the economic cascade begins. The Lloyd's Joint War Committee declares the entire southern Persian Gulf a high-risk zone. This is not a suggestion, it is a mathematical execution. Insurance premiums for any vessel entering the Gulf become unsustainable overnight. This is a de facto blockade. Not enforced by warships, enforced by risk and insurance mathematics. Global shipping lines halt all non-essential traffic. DP World stock plummets. The attack didn't just close a port. It froze all trade in the region. This is infrastructure warfare at its most effective. The target was steel, but the casualty is confidence. Let's talk about the people. The UAE imports 90% of its food supply. The vast majority arrives through Jebel Ali. At T+24 hours, the civilian cascade begins. The realization hits the public. The primary node for food, medicine, and goods is offline. Panic is the logical result. A 30-day countdown to a national food security crisis has begun. The government is forced to implement rationing. The narrative of the UAE as a safe, stable hub is shattered. Confidence, once lost, is not easily regained. Let's talk about the fallout. At T+1 week, the diplomatic cascade is in full effect. The UAE is forced into an impossible choice. The status of forces agreement that allows the U.S. Navy to visit is no longer a security guarantee. It is now a liability. The attack serves as a devastating proof of concept for other nations. Your civilian infrastructure is now a legitimate target. This is the core structural revelation. The hyper-efficient civilian logistics network is a thermal bridge to military vulnerability. The drive for peacetime economic efficiency created the perfect vulnerability for asymmetric warfare. From this morning forward, the rules are different. It means the separation between civilian commerce and military conflict is an illusion. It means that logistical choke points are now primary targets. It means the most effective weapon is not a new missile, but a new understanding of the system's fragility. For decades, military doctrine focused on force-on-force encounters. The adversary did not need to penetrate the defenses of a warship. They just needed to disable the crane that refuels it. The load-bearing assumption was that economic infrastructure was too vital to attack. The attack proves that an actor willing to accept the chaos can weaponize that very interconnectedness. Sanctuaries are now liabilities. Efficiency is now a vulnerability. The system that kept the world fed and fueled was built for a world that no longer exists. The wreckage is real. What destroyed it was the dispute over the system itself,